Good afternoon, and thank you, Chairman Divas, for that introduction, and thank you to all of you for taking the time to be here today as I provide an update on the progress and promise of our great city. I also want to thank the Chamber of Commerce and their leadership for their continued support of the city and for allowing me to open up their luncheon today to the public. And I want to offer my sincerest congratulations on the Chamber in its 70th anniversary year. I know Mr. Amos and those who joined him in starting the Chamber understood the importance of local businesses being involved in our community. And I am happy that the strong relationship between the city and the Chamber of Commerce continues today. As all of you in this room know, Shawnee is a special place to live. There is something that I have known from being a lifelong resident and a member of the City Council, and those feelings have only been reinforced since becoming your mayor. The results of our most recent citizen survey tells us that our residents feel strongly about this too. 93% of those who were asked said Shawnee was a place where they want to live. Our citizens' high level of satisfaction should make all of us proud, but there is always room for improvement and critical issues that need to be addressed. As members of this community, it is our responsibility to build off of this success so our community continues to grow and prosper. That is why, leading up to my election as mayor last year, I walked door to door, talking to thousands of our citizens and to find out what they wanted to see out of their city government. In doing that, I kept hearing these same two things. They wanted city government to be more accessible, and they asked that we focus on the priorities that matter the most to them. Simply put, they wanted a Shawnee that was community-driven and citizen-focused. Since taking office in April, my priority has been to never lose sight of that. And today I want to share with you some of the ways in which we are addressing the needs of our city and our citizens. We have a lot of business owners in the room today, and just like your businesses, city government must be mindful of its customers. In our case, our customers are you, the residents and business owners in this community. In order to build the city we want, our city government can't do it alone. We must all work together because each of you has a stake in our success. And just as I stated during my campaign, because it is what I truly believe, it is not about thinking alike, it's about thinking together. And that is why, over the past 6 months, we have increased opportunities for our citizens and businesses to directly engage with city government. And I have personally spent more than 680 hours since being elected meeting with residents, businesses, church groups, networking groups, and homeowners associations. We also instituted Third Thursdays with the mayor, where citizens get the chance to express their ideas and concerns about our city. I have also spent time meeting with local business owners to learn about their businesses and to talk about the steps the city can take to make our business climate as friendly as possible. Additionally, we have leveraged technology to improve our citizens' customer service experience. In August, we launched a new and improved online service request system, which allows citizens to report issues such as potholes and code violations through both our website and the Shawnee Connect mobile app. Citizens can then receive updates until the problem they have reported is fixed. This year, we will offer additional opportunities for our citizens to engage directly with their city government. This will include a new event called Quarterly Q&A, where citizens will have the opportunity to ask me questions about city news, issues, and projects. In order to better communicate directly with our neighborhoods, we will be launching a page through nextdoor.com. This innovative social media tool will allow us to target our communication efforts neighborhood by neighborhood, so our residents are hearing about the issues and the news that is most important to them. Now let me share with you where else our city government has gone in the past year and where we are headed in the future. Our citizens' most basic expectation is that we will be responsible with their tax dollars. Like many local governments, we have had our share of challenges in the past few years. The lingering effects of the recession, along with the ongoing potential of funding challenges from Topeka, have forced us to make difficult choices in order to maximize the impact of our citizens' tax dollars. Despite this, Our city continues to sit on a rock-solid financial foundation, which includes a strong AA bond rating and an unqualified opinion on our annual audit, the highest mark that can be achieved. We have committed ourselves to making the tough choices by not raising our citizens' property tax rates for 10 straight years, which translates into some of the lowest property taxes in Johnson County. If the economy continues to improve, our fiscal discipline will allow us to address some critical needs and hopefully take on a few major projects that have been deferred. In September, city staff, along with our city council, had a discussion about how to prioritize the needs and projects that would positively impact our city. These discussions will continue in the coming months. These potential projects include completing key street reconstruction projects like Flint Street and Monticello Road, adding another fire station to address longer response times in the northwest portion of our community, and adding traffic signals at 435 and Johnson Drive. Now, the reality is that the economic growth has not been enough to fund these projects as well as many others that are needed, and that is why prioritizing our needs is so important. Equally concerning is some of the new legislation passed in Topeka. Legislation continues to be passed and proposed that inhibits the ability of local governments to properly fund operations. This includes a bill passed last year that limits how we can use growth in assessed value, as well as ongoing discussions about eliminating our sales tax exempt status. I believe strongly that the decisions about what kind of community we want to be and how it should be funded should remain in the hands of our local government. And if we don't make good decisions, the voters of Shawnee should and will hold us accountable. But despite these obstacles, our staff and City Council will continue to focus on making strategic investments that are the best for our community's future. Another basic expectation that our citizens have is that their local government will provide them with a strong system of infrastructure. This includes safe and well-maintained streets. 16 months ago, the voters of Shawnee displayed their own commitment to the future of our streets by approving a new 3/8 sales tax dedicated to improving our streets, curbs, and sidewalks. In 2016, our citizens will begin to see their investment pay off. The passage of the pavement sales tax also presented us an opportunity to get our citizens directly involved in the decision-making process. 1/3 of the proceeds from this new tax goes towards a street improvement program that specifically focuses on two key issues: upgrading the streets in our older neighborhoods that do not have sidewalks or curbs, and upgrading the surface of streets that are currently chip sealed. Last summer, the city asked 12 Shawnee residents to serve on a street improvement task force. Over a 6-month period, the task force held 4 public meetings and worked with city staff to determine what priorities should be considered when investing millions of dollars to help improve our streets and neighborhoods. By choosing to work directly with our citizens, we were able to focus on putting together the best plan for our community. I want to thank all of the members of the task force for their dedication to this process, and I look forward to more citizen input in the future. As much progress as we are making with our streets, we face another big challenge with our city's infrastructure. Shawnee has a network of stormwater pipes that stretches 180 miles long, a distance equivalent of driving from here to Salina. And now, while I'll be the first to admit it's not the most exciting topic to talk about, however, this summer, having the opportunity to operate a backhoe and pull rusted pipe out of the ground was awesome. That was a fun day, as was all of my experiences with public works. So, you know, police and fire, they don't get to have all the fun. But seriously, the condition of our infrastructure that you can't see is just as important as the condition of the infrastructure that you see and touch every day. And as the years pass, more of our stormwater pipes are aging and failing at too rapid of a pace. Because of that, we must find ways to fund these repairs at a more rapid level. In March, our city staff will make a presentation to the City Council on what type of investment is needed to help fix what is wrong now and to adequately maintain the system for the long haul. High-quality infrastructure is not only important to our citizens, it is an integral part to helping build a first-class business community. While local government does not create jobs, it does create the opportunity for our businesses to compete and prosper. Over the past year, we have worked with the Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development Council to help bring exciting new business to Shawnee. In April, we welcomed technology firm Risk IQ to Shawnee, joining their other locations in San Francisco and London. Originally projected to bring 25 jobs to Shawnee over 3 years, this fast-growing firm has already hired 24 new employees in 9 months. This past summer, People Admin, a software provider in the education and government sector, brought their business to Shawnee along with 180 new jobs. And just recently, Tallgrass Freight decided to move to Shawnee and bring additional jobs to our local economy. Much of this success can be credited to our Shawnee Entrepreneurial and Economic Development Program. The SEED program provides limited assistance to businesses in the form of forgivable loan agreements, which are based on specific and stringent performance measures. Based on the success of this program, we have made the decision to expand its capabilities to help small business owners who are looking for affordable space to help grow their companies. Thanks to the efforts of Councilman Koenig and Economic Development Director Andrew Nave, we will be focusing on expanding businesses in high-growth industries, including transportation and information technology. The work of building a community goes so quickly that often we don't have time to appreciate our progress. However, there are rare times when a project takes on a greater meaning. That was the case this past October when we gathered to celebrate the opening of Erfurt Park. With its natural scenery and beautiful views, this park provides our citizens with another option to enjoy nature with family and friends. But the opening of Erfurt Park was about much more than just the expansion of our park system. It represented a continuation of a special bond between Shawnee and our sister city of Erfurt, Germany. The closeness of that bond is reflected in the park that has been built. From the shelters all the way down to the flowers planted into the ground, what you see at Erfurt Park is what you would see if you visited Erfurt, Germany. Since 1993, Shawnee and Erfurt have built a partnership based on our shared commitment to building a community that our citizens can be proud of. We have accomplished this through an open exchange of ideas, and when President Reagan once described as a spirit of friendship, which, when multiplied by thousands of sister cities, results in improved economic, cultural, and social relationships between people everywhere. Another great example of this is the exchange program between the fire departments in Shawnee and Erfurt, which allows firefighters the opportunity to visit and work in the other city's department for a short time. As a result, we have not only built long-lasting friendships, but become a better city. It was an honor to host our friends from Erfurt, and we look forward to continue building our partnership in the future. I have already mentioned some of the basic expectations that our citizens have of us as a city government. However, there is no duty that is as important as making sure that our residents and visitors feel safe. The men and women of our police and fire departments are dedicated public servants who go above and beyond the call of duty to make Shawnee one of the safest places to live and visit in our metro area. In a time of heated national rhetoric and contentious relationships between citizens and police, our police department has built a cooperative and supportive relationship with our community. The numbers from last year's citizen survey bear this out. 87% of our residents say they feel safe in Shawnee, ranking far above regional and national averages. Of course, the reality is, no matter how much police protection a city has, crime is going to happen. But the response by a police department to crime occurring shows the capability of those who are protecting us. And I can tell you that here in Shawnee, we are in good hands. A recent example of this came when we had a rash of auto burglaries in our city. These crimes were the work of organized groups, but with the help of the community and hard work by our officers, we made a dozen arrests in these cases and made our city a safer place to be. I want to take a moment to recognize Chief Moser and every member of our police department for their dedication to keeping Shawnee safe. Would you please join me in giving our police department a round of applause? Now, while I'm talking about public safety in our city, I would never leave out our fire department. While our police department works to keep our community free of crime, our fire department focuses on making sure our citizens and their property are safe. And just another observation from my ride-alongs between the fire department and the police department, when I'm riding with the fire department, I've noticed people wave at them with their full hand as we're going by. One way they accomplish this is through a robust public education program, and that includes educating our school children. During Fire Prevention Week last October, members of our fire department spoke to over 4,000 children to educate them on the importance of fire safety. With the recent hiring of a fire prevention officer, we will expand our educational programming and increase the number of safety inspections at local facilities, including schools and nursing homes. I could not be more proud that our fire department has also focused on engaging with the community to make long-term planning decisions. Less than 1% of all fire departments nationwide are officially accredited, and Chief Maddox and his team are currently on schedule to join this elite group in 2017. But this process is about much more than just a plaque on the wall. It's about the building the kind of fire department that our citizens want now and in the future. Recently, the department brought together a group of 24 Shawnee residents and asked them to share what they felt should be the priorities of our fire department. Based on this feedback, the future of the department will be driven by the priorities most desired by our citizens. I want to applaud Chief Maddox, Deputy Chief Sal Scarpa, and all members of our fire department for opening their doors to the public and letting them engage in this important process. Please give them a round of applause. I now want to focus on one particular member of our fire department that was the inspiration for one of the most special moments in Shawnee this past year. Doug Sims is a longtime Shawnee resident and a veteran of the Army Reserves, having served in both Iraq and Afghanistan. In addition to Doug, our city government employs members of the Army National Guard and the Kansas Air National Guard. Because of their tremendous sacrifices, it is important that our city does everything it can do to support these individuals and their families. That is why we have a reintegration program in our organization, so we make the transition back to civilian life as easy as possible. Because of our efforts to support those who defend our country, the City of Shawnee received the Secretary of Defense Employer Support Freedom Award this past summer. The Freedom Award is the highest award given to employers by the United States Department of Defense. Shawnee was one of only 15 employers nationwide to be recognized out of nearly 3,000 that applied. Additionally, we became only the second employer ever in the state of Kansas to receive the Freedom Award. In August, I joined Doug and Human Resources Director Liz Crawford in Washington, D.C. for a formal recognition ceremony at the Pentagon. This was one of my proudest moments yet as the mayor of our city, and it wasn't because we won an award. It was because this award represents so much of what is great about Shawnee, and that is that we are a true community who believes in the value of taking care of one another. Nowhere is that spirit of kindness more apparent than in the partnership we have built with our local churches. Pastors and congregations from different denominations have joined together with the mission of working with our city government to help those in need. These church leaders and their members may come from different cultures and have different beliefs, but they share one thing in common, and that is the love for Shawnee and the people that live here. I would like to share one example with you. Last fall, our codes department got a call from a citizen who was concerned about the well-being of their elderly neighbor. They had noticed that some additional people had moved into the house and were concerned about changes to the property, including a large pile of items that had been placed in the driveway. After visits by city staff to assess the problems, a group of volunteers from multiple churches, led by Pastor Don Lewis of Crossroads Church, worked together to get this property cleaned up. And I remember vividly when I pulled up that morning and saw the entire 2-car driveway covered with items from end to end, stacked higher than I am tall, and thinking to myself, this was going to be an impossible task. There was one other volunteer there before me, and she had already began moving items. Although overwhelmed with the task, I just started moving one item at a time, and as we worked, car after car of volunteers began to show up, including Council President Stephanie Meyer. Amazingly, that entire overwhelmingly impossible task was completed within just a few hours. So the phrase, "many hands makes light work," could not be more true. This is just one example of the caring spirit from those in our community, and there are many more. Over the last year, our citizens gave nearly 6,000 hours of their time for volunteer work. Whether it was a Girl Scout troop helping to beautify one of our parks, a citizen shoveling the driveway for a senior citizen after a snowstorm, or members of our community emergency response team training to help in the event of a disaster. Each of these individuals did what Gandhi encouraged all of us to do when he said, we should lose ourselves in the service of others. And that, more than anything, is why we are all here. We are all citizens of this great community, and we all have a stake in its success. Andrew Carnegie, one of the most influential businessmen in our nation's history, once spoke of what it took for an organization's goals to be achieved when he said, "Teamwork is the ability to work together toward a common vision, the ability to direct individual accomplishments towards organizational objectives. It is the fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results." By focusing our work on the greatest needs of our community, by working together, and by always committing to make our citizens the priority, we will be able to accomplish the goals that we have set. So thank you for your time today, and I wish all of you the best in 2016.